guys, today I'm going to show you how to make some delicious madeleines. What you're going to need for this recipe is a specialized pan. This is called a Madeleine pan. They look like beautiful little shells. And I've got some all-purpose flour, baking powder, and salt whisked together in a bowl. I've also got some brown sugar, honey, granulated sugar, lemon zest, which is traditional, as well as orange zest, but you can use any citrus fruit you'd like grapefruit if you really want to experiment, and a couple eggs and vanilla extract in this bowl. And then I've got some melted butter. This is going to be so easy. All we're going to do is whisk our sugar and eggs together. Sometimes it can get a little clumpy depending on the time of year or the moisture. Don't worry about it. This is going to set up in the fridge for an hour. I recommend getting some piping bags. I've got just one right here, a disposable one. You can reuse those, you can wash them, and they're reusable, no problem. If your honey is a bit chunky, don't worry about that. It'll start to rehydrate in these liquids. Once I've got these nice and put together, I'm gonna switch to my spatula to help fold in this flour. And this is going to come together so fast. They do need to set up in the fridge though. They need to cool down. You can do them ahead of time, a day ahead of time. They're great for breakfast. Love a little fresh Madeleine cookie out of the oven. You can also let them cool and dip them in chocolate if you would like. I recommend that. All right, once almost all my flour is folded in, I'm going to add my melted butter. You just don't want to over mix. It's a really good technique to not over mix. Add your ingredients right before the next one's like just finished. And this batter seems pretty loose, kind of like a pancake batter, but it's gonna set up in the fridge and get nice and thick and pipeable. All right, easy peasy lemon squeezy, that's all together. Way to hold a piping bag to not get it all over yourself. Hold it like this, put it around your hand. It makes life so much easier. Scrape everything in your bowl about down to the bottom. And then you can just kind of pour right in. So easy, right? And then I'm just going to scrape the rest of this batter in here. I'm going to show you a really great technique for not letting anything fall out of your piping bag while it's sitting in your fridge. These can be made about 2 days ahead of time. The batter might look a little gray, but they bake up just fine. All right, see, no mess at all. Now that I got my piping bag like that, I'm gonna push the batter all down together so it doesn't eep out the side. And then I'm gonna really aggressively twist and lay down flat over the back. Now that's gonna set up in the fridge for an hour, and then we'll be ready to enjoy some delicious madeleines. All right, guys, we're getting ready after this Madeleine dough has been sitting in the fridge for about an hour. I'm gonna pipe it into my prepared pans. Now, my tip for these guys is grease them with pan spray like a little more than you think you should. We wanna make sure they really come out. We're just gonna turn them right out really quick once they're out in the oven. And this guy is a mini Madeleine pan, which is like one of my personal favorites. How cute is that? Oh my gosh, I love them. One batter of this is gonna fill a whole pan plus some extra. So I recommend if while you're at it, just go ahead and get a mini pan. And I'm gonna take my piping tip like this, push all the batter down in there. I'm gonna cut it about here. And this can be a little tough to pipe because it is a little hard. For me, I'm used to it, but I just wanna make sure you see about how much batter goes in the pan. So we're gonna wanna really fill it up and go back up like that, flick up. If you're having trouble getting your batter to stop coming out of your piping bag and you're like struggling with it, a tip is you can twist, a little quick twist of the wrist like that, and boop, no problem. I personally love madeleines. They're one of my favorite little treats. They're kind of the texture of a cake and the size of a cookie, really best of both worlds. So that's about how much batter I want for my full madeleines. And then now for my minis, we're gonna do just a little bit in there. They bake up quite big and they are so delicious. Sometimes you go to a fancy French restaurant, you'll get just mini madeleines as dessert with a little like chocolate sauce or crème anglaise. I mean, heaven. Remember, flick up or twist to help you stop that batter. And if I have a little extra batter, what I do is I just go back to kind of my ones that look a little small, and I'm just gonna add a little bit to the top. Traditional madeleines, when they're done correctly, they're gonna have this funny little lump on the back of them when they bake up. The lump is the Madeleine. That's what we're looking for. Shell on one side, little lump on the back. Sometimes your Madeleine batter might be a little weird and you want to put a little extra back there just to make sure you get that quintessential lump. I'll show you guys when it bakes up.